Welcome back, Issues at Hand. Peter Kivazo, with me, Mr. Ben Paul Mungereza. And we are talking the Uganda housing and population census. Viewers, I said, our numbers are displayed on the set. You're able to talk to us very quickly so that we have a lot more interaction. Ben, analysis. I've had a few people ask questions, and it is, do we get value for money? We previously had population census that were supposed to be timed 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. What happened to the decade period?
No, actually, when you look at the history of censuses in Uganda, there has been an interval of about 11 years.
Okay.
Approximately. Now, this time around, it's an interval of 12 years. There's no big magic about the 10 and 11 and 12, because technically, a population census is supposed to be conducted once in every 10 years. What does this mean? We have got what we call a census round. Now, the 2010 census round ends in 2014, this year. And it started in 2006. So any country which will not have conducted a census between 2006 and 2014 would be regarded as a non-compliant country.
That's an international state standard?
It's an international state standard. Now, in 2015, we then begin the 2020 round of censuses. Now, what is important here is that we have conducted the census within the 2010 round.
I get to planning, analysis of the data. I know that, for example, very quickly, I use Kampala. By the decentralization, I think Local Government Act, if I'm not wrong, and also the National Parliamentary Elections Act. We use population and area to plan, for example, constituencies. I know, for example, that Kampala, by the population returns, should be reflected. Currently, we have 5 constituencies, I think, in Kampala. If we look at the voting population, it should be reflecting more than that. Where I'm coming from, I'm asking, when do we use the data that you collect to impact planning? 1, in elections, 2, in health planning.
Well, you know, there are things...
Or do you collect the information and pass it on and go to bed and say, well, I did my bit, I gave you the data?
And actually, that's what it should be. Our law empowers us to collect information. We work as a mirror. We provide information to the public, to government and to the public for use. Now, if this information is not used, we cannot force anybody to use it. But we encourage you to use it.
Do you participate? Because this should be an integral thing. I become totally worthless in value. I know that many years ago when I talked to the Commissioner General of URA, Allen Kajina, and the question from viewers then was, we give you all this money, but we do not see value for money. And she said, while that question wasn't hers, she would feel totally dejected if what she took from the people did not result in service and quality. And we are saying Ben Paul Mungereza has collected this data. If the data does not reflect in better health services for me or in more health centers, then what value is Ben?
That is why we've been going to a number of ministries and agencies of government to market the information that we generate, to tell them the importance of using statistics for evidence-based planning. You may wish to know that the figures from the population census provide what I call base information for planning. Because planning, the question is planning for who? Planning for the people.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you know how many people you have, where they are, how they live, what they do, which schools their children go to, it becomes easy for you to plan for them. So I would say statistics is like the air we breathe. Sometimes we take it for granted. We don't know that this air is so important.
Okay, let me just take the call. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Mungereza for his contribution this evening and the Bureau of Statistics generally for the great job that they are doing.
Thank you.
However, I would like to say that whereas their output might be insufficient in a number of ways, they are also faced by a number of challenges. As you know, there are two central sources of data, that is surveys and admin data, administrative sources. Now, surveys are very expensive, and Peter, I would like you to appreciate that UBOS is underfunded. So there are many things that you looked at their strategic plan that they would like to do, have not been able to do them because of money. Now, the other source where they would get data is administrative sources, but the management of administrative records is very, very poor in this country. The health centers, for example, generate a lot of data on incidents of disease. But these records are not properly kept. And in that case, it makes it very, very difficult for you boss to put this data together and present it to you, to a consumer or data. So what we need to do as a country, improve funding and also improve on the management of administrative records. This is a very, very big generation of data. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm assuming that is Martin Wandera. That sounded like Martin Wandera, former member of Workers MP. And I mean, my old professor used to say that if you're squeezed, squeak. Dr. Ben Paul Mungereza is not crying that he's underfunded. He seems very comfortable. So, Martin, I don't know where you get that information from. Hello?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, is this yes?
Yes, you're live on Issues at Hand.
Okay, my name is Richard. And I'm really so glad that I'm seeing Dr. Bungereza and the rest of the team trying to actually organize census. Because I'm one of those people who has always been collecting data for Uganda Bureau of Statistics. I'm happy that this time around they decided to use a bottom-top approach by getting people from the community to collect the information. However, one of the challenges that is always stressing the field is the issue of callbacks among the urban airlines. So I don't know whether this time around, how are they going to approach areas where there is land response, talk about the urban airlines who do not want to be introduced. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Doctor, he's asking how will you deal with the issue of the callbacks and the next level of generation of information. Hello? 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 Sorry, we lost that caller. I'll take two and then Doctor will be able to respond to those and we'll see if we can take any more depending on... Would you respond to the first two?
Yeah, first of all, let me thank, you said he was Mr. Wandera.
I think that's Martin
He didn't
Wandera.
mention the name, but I think he's quite knowledgeable about
Even by the fact that he was talking about the data from the hotel industry, I know Martin Wandera is...
Yeah, sure. I would like to thank him because he's quite knowledgeable about the issues in the national statistical system. There are two sources of info. We can call them three sources. We have got surveys, we have got administrative data, then we have got censuses. Now, censuses and surveys, we tend to put them together. The fundamental difference between the two is that for surveys, you plan for it, you go and do it, it's like a project. For administrative data, in the process of offering services, you keep on collecting information, whether knowingly or unknowingly. You go to a police station, or you go to a health facility, and they record your name, they record your sex, they record the place where you come from. That is already data. So that's administrative data. What we have not, maybe I would say what we are trying to exploit now is administrative data. How do we exploit it to ensure that we get value out of it? We have invested in a plan for national statistical development, where we are encouraging every ministry, department, and agency of government to develop a strategic plan for the development of statistics. Now, by doing that, they develop statistics from the sector with our support. I would, for example, I'll give you some few cases. Uganda Police Force, we supported it to build statistics. As I talk, it has a big department that deals with statistics. And in fact, if you look at the statistics from the police force, they have improved significantly. They are a source of our data because crime data, we get it from the police force. You may also wish to know that URA has also beefed up its statistics function. Ministry of Agriculture has also upgraded. It used to have a small section of statistics. Now it has a whole department. So we are sensitizing ministries, departments, and agencies of government to develop statistics in their respective agencies. Because by doing that, they will be able to measure the services they are offering. So for us, we are doing an advocacy, I would say an advocacy for statistics. We don't go there to produce the statistics, but we support them to make sure
that they have the statistics.
And
they are using them.
And they are using them.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Your name, question or comment?
I'm called Rashid.
Yes.
I'm in Kamasa here.
Yes. Sorry, we lost him. The gentleman from Kamocha, unfortunately, your line went dead. The callback, the feedback. If you miss me on the first day, that was the question from the gentleman that said that he's worked with you. I'll take this one as well. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
Your name, question or comment?
Jackson Adoni, calling from Mugende.
Yes, Jackson, how is Muvende?
This is public officer.
Mm.
Yes, for us, we are on training.
Hello?
And we have been training sub-council officers.
Mm-hmm.
And we have organized the ground very well because we recruited all enumerators.
Mm-hmm.
And we are very ready for the exercise.
Okay. He's saying they are ready for the exercise.
Sure.
And I have someone here who asks about recruitment. He says, Peter, ask doctor, how did they recruit? In many a place, these are student jobs. I'm a student of Cavendish University. I'd like to participate in this. Are there still opportunities for students to be enrolled Or are they taking people out of other jobs to come and do this? That's Sylvia.
All right. Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Let me first of all start with Richard. Richard has experience in data connection. The issue of callbacks is a nightmare. Where we come to you and you're not there, and we come to you again, and we come to you again. Now, we are handling this through publicity. That's the only way we can do it. We are reaching out the public to say, if, for example, you were told that the enumerator came to your household today and he missed you, pick interest in that and say, okay, why don't you tell this enumerator to come tomorrow very early in the morning? Or I know I'll not be here, but tell him to come tomorrow early in the morning. I'll wait for this enumerator. And these are mostly where we have a problem with callbacks. It's mostly where they are single person households. You're in your house, you get out, you lock. So when we don't get you, we don't get you.
Do I have to be there? Because if you walked into my household, for example, and I am not there, there'll be people to give you the information.
That's what I'm talking about. Callbacks are a problem in single person households. But if I come to you, Peter, and you're not there, and I find your wife, when we come to a household, we ask for a head of a household. If the head is not there, we ask for a responsible person that can answer questions about people in the household. So your wife will answer questions. In fact,
possibly even better.
If the census period, if you know you will not be reliably at home, make sure your wife has all the information about you. Because we'll ask her all questions about you. And this information will be provided. But single person households are very difficult, particularly in the urban area. And Richard is right. So we make callbacks and we leave information with neighbors to tell them, please give us an appointment and we come back to you. This is why we give a period of 10 days for the enumerators. Each enumerator is supposed to cover about 140 households. Approximately each day should be covering about 14 households. So we think that this can be covered. Now, for single person households, bear in mind that we would need only maybe about 10 minutes with you because you are one person. So all the questions will be very easy for the questionnaire. And so you can give us that 10 minutes early morning before you go to work. So that is Richard. I'd like to thank him for bringing out this. Jackson in Mubende, I would like to appreciate Jackson because currently we are training all supervisors for sub-counties in the districts in Uganda. At each district in Uganda now, there is training. In every division, in Kampala, there is training. In Kampala, each division was treated as a census district. So we have got 5 training venues. In every district, we have got sub-county supervisors being trained. They are being trained to go and train parish supervisors and enumerators. This training was for 10 days and it's ending on Thursday this week. And on 16th, the training for parish supervisors and enumerators will begin, also for 10 days. It will end on 25th.
Can you just quickly, before we take the break, fit in the question of Sylvia that asks, okay, where do I fall in this? Who are these people that are doing these jobs? Can I be involved?
Unfortunately, it's too late, Sylvia. It's too late because we decentralized this exercise. Recruitments were done at the district level. At the district level, the people to handle the census at the district, those were nominations. These were government workers because they needed some basic infrastructure to use. At the sub-county level, there are also nominations. These are government workers. But we recruited, through the districts, we recruited the parish supervisors and enumerators from the public. And these were people who were supposed to come from the areas that they are supposed to cover. And we have recruited a total of about 100,000 field workers, supervisors, parish supervisors, and enumerators only. That's 100,000. And this was done by districts and divisions. The chief administrative officers were the ones responsible for this. And therefore, there's no more opportunity now. Recruitments have been completed.
Well, Sylvia, you get that. Viewers, we take a break. When we return from the break, I see a number of calls coming in. I'll be able to take as many as we can.